Hi everyone. Hello everyone. I thought I would make myself a mission to fly in DCS that would require a very high amount of pilot workload. So for this mission I decided to build something for the Viggen, and the mission is set in the middle of the night. It is 2:15 in the morning and there is both fog on the ground and 10/10ths cloud at about 1,000 meters, and it's raining. So it's going to be pitch black. I'm going to fly the whole flight on instruments. We're going to take off from Anapa and then follow a series of waypoints down towards the valley that is essentially aligned northwest out of Novorossiysk. At the city, we're going to turn out to sea, and I have a single freighter out over the water. We're going to launch a couple of missiles at the freighter. We're then going to turn back towards Gelenchik and try and land using TILs/instruments and visual final approach to touch down at Gelenchik. Now, I built this mission with the intent of basically forcing me to do a lot of work all the time. So between every single pair of waypoints, I should have quite a few tasks that I need to do, basically to make sure that I don't crash into the ground and to get my weapons set up and destroy that ship and land. Of particular note will be my intent to stay above about 200 meters or 300 meters above sea level, but below the cloud base, which is at about 1,000 meters. Looking at the weather conditions over here, you can see I've got some light winds from the southwest and also a little bit of turbulence. The mission should take about 35 minutes or so, and I'm hoping that I don't make too many major mistakes. But I'm certainly looking forward to flying this mission, particularly in the dark, down low in the Viggen. So welcome to the cockpit. Let's get started. You can probably tell it's night time and it's raining. A few raindrops just visible on the canopy there. So we're going to close the main canopy. I'm going to turn my flashlight on and also the lock on the ejector seat across. So canopy's closed now, and first thing we're going to do is call up ground crew to turn on,
Chief, turn on the ground power.
The ground power.
Copy.
Just take a few seconds.
Ground power is now on.
Excellent, we've got ground power. So I'm going to turn on some initial electrics. So those two there, and we'll disable that warning. Going to wait for a couple of things to spool up, and then we're going to request engine start from traffic here at Anapa. Okay, we should be ready for that now. ATC Anapa request startup.
Anapa, in field, 1-1, request startup. Enfield 1-1, Anapa, cleared for startup, wind 249, at 8 meters per second.
Okay, winds are 249 at 8, coming from the west, so we need to take off on runway 22 as expected. Now I'm going to turn on the main engine. This takes a few moments to spool up as well. Very dark, as you can see. The sky completely blocked out by clouds, so no stars, no glow from the moon or a sinking sun or a rising sun on the horizon. It's just pitch black up there. We can now turn the generator on now that we've got our main thrust, and then I will get the ground crew to remove the ground power unit or the ground power. So let's do that now, so I don't taxi off of that attached ground power. Turn it off.
The ground power. Copy. Ground power is now off.
Right, ground power is now off. We're running on full self-power, so we can throw the cockpit lights on. And I'll turn everything up close to full brightness to begin with, and we'll adjust later as we need to. Let's get a bit more brightness here. Excellent. Cockpit lights are nice and bright. Now we can throw the cartridge in, which contains our flight plan information, all our waypoints, and we tell the aircraft's computer to load the cartridge. Excellent, cartridge loaded. Just going to quickly check through the waypoints to check if one of them is set as an attack waypoint. I'm just looking for an M. Waypoint 5, waypoint 6, waypoint 7, waypoint 8. There's no waypoint 8. Okay, so I am going to check the knee board here, cycle through all the waypoints to see which one I want to use as my attack waypoint. I'm going to use waypoint number 6 as my attack waypoint because that's the one basically where the ship is. So, tact, input 9, and the waypoint 6 button. It tells the computer to make waypoint 6 my attack waypoint. Now I can just quickly confirm it is M6 as opposed to B6. Good. That is set. Check our loadout here. We have the RB-24s inside. We've got the RB-15s outside. Those are my anti-ship missiles. And we have an external tank, which I'm going to leave on. I'm not going to jettison that tank. That will stay with us for the whole flight.
Request rearming.
So that is actually going to rearm now, but we've got everything we need on, so I can just let that do that in the background. We will not be switching to nav until we get up near the threshold, so we're basically ready to go. I'm going to throw the oxygen on now just in case we need it, and I'm also going to turn my my external nav lights on. That's the red and green lights either side. As soon as we're rearmed or confirmed as fully armed, then I will request taxiing because we're basically ready to go here. This new, well not new, but about 6 months old, I think. This rain droplets on these canopies looks very good. We are ready to taxi, so I'm going to contact ANAPA and request taxi permission. Just waiting for a response. Just check that we're on the right channel, channel 1 over here. Okay, runway 22, that is over here on the right. Taxi light on. Quick look left and right. There's no other traffic here. Shouldn't be other traffic. So we're now clear to taxi. Let's go. And now you can see the rain falling through the taxi / landing light. There's a couple of trees over there, nicely lit. On our way now to the threshold of runway 22. Okay, here's the runway right in front. Just going to hold almost immediately short of it, and I'm going to request takeoff. We are going to
request takeoff.
Switch to nav mode now, and as soon as I get clearance, I'm going to turn on.
You are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 30.60.
I'm going to leave the QFE as it is, because the takeoff, target, and landing airfields are all close to sea level. We have clearance for takeoff, so off we go. Going to line up as well as I can on the centre line here, throttling forward to 2 stages of afterburn. Very gentle on the throttle forward. Okay, coming up to the afterburn 1, afterburn 2. I'm going to hit the reference key. Now that should, yes, bang on 2-2 heading. And I'm watching for about 270 knots, or kilometres per hour rather. And now we can lift the nose off. Small stall warning, gear up. Flashlight off and move the HUD up. You can see the runway lights just under the nose there. So I'm just going to climb a little bit more. It says we're at 40 meters. I'm going to climb up to about 200 meters, and now we can make the right turn onto waypoint 1. Once I'm well clear of the field, then I'm also going to turn the external lights off. We'll try and get those off as soon as we level out towards waypoint 1. I want to climb so I'm getting about 200 meters altitude showing. So we're well past that now, so I can level off. I've got 350, that's perfect. That's above airfield altitude where I took off, just relatively close to sea level. So the terrain here is about 200 meters above sea level, so should be fine. Just goes up a bit. Okay, I'm going to turn a bit sharper now because I want to get onto this waypoint early. It's only 8 kilometers away, and I don't want to run out of time, run out of distance to get there. It's quite a turn. It's pretty much due north of me now. 5 kilometers away to my north. Yeah, really turning quite hard now. Okay, basically we're going around a circle around the waypoint here. So it's going to flip to waypoint 2 in a second. There we are, waypoint 2. So we've hit waypoint 1, we're now on our way to waypoint 2, 480 meters. I don't want to get much higher than that. We're on the risk of hitting the cloud. Okay, afterburner right back now. Plenty of speed, and just make this right turn all the way around. See, we're not terribly high from some terrain down here. Looks like we're about 100 meters above the terrain. Just entering a fraction of cloud there, so we need to drop, get down below 550. Heading of 090. Keep coming around onto 180. So first waypoint took us to the north of the airfield, and now we'll start our southerly heading towards the target. Our next waypoint is 22 kilometers off on a bearing of about 195 to 200. So here it is. I'm going to level out on that heading. I'm going to maintain my altitude here just at 400. So let's just bring the nose back up. We'll get up to 400, 80, 90, 400. There we are. Autopilot on. External lights off. And we're just being told to adjust left fraction here. There's the radar just updating everything a little bit. Straight into its waypoint 2. Okay, so we've turned our external lights off, and the interior looks okay. I'm going to just check how bright the HUD is. You can see I've got all these reflections off either side here, so I'm just going to dim the HUD until those reflections have basically gone. I dim the radar display and the HUD a bit as well, so it just makes life a little bit easier. Okay, we can turn the radar back off. Don't need that at the minute. Heading. We've got 4 kilometers to waypoint 2. We're already just off course a fraction, so I'm going to come right manually onto the waypoint here. The waypoint's now spinning, so we should get waypoint 3. There we go, waypoint 3. Now this waypoint's at the top of the valley, so got to be careful I don't get too low, because this one is going to send us between 3 to 4. It's going to send us straight down the valley towards Novosibirsk. Okay, I need to turn a bit harder here. A few lights on the ground just showing here, and I've got a flash on the right, which is cloud. Yeah, just entering some cloud here. You can see. do not want to get any lower than that. You can see some flicking. It's just the cloud reflecting lights off in various ways. Now I do have a bit of an altitude warning here, but we're okay. Just coming over a ridge. Okay, heading now towards waypoint 3. As soon as we hit waypoint 3, we're going to start setting the weapons up for the attack. Now I do need to go through the process of telling the computer what to do with all the weapons. So that's going to take some time. We'll try and do that between waypoints 3 and 4. And there's just a little bit of terrain down there. It must be in the fog, I think, because it's just flicking. So, distance to waypoint is 2 kilometers. Right, that was very quick. Off we go. Manual flying, and there's the waypoint. Number 4. Now we're going to be heading down the valley. Heading of 120 for this. Just climbed a fraction there. We're going to drop that altitude again. It's okay. We should be in the valley now. And we're going to descend down a fraction. Okay. There's our heading. Still see a few ground lights flicking around down there in the rear view mirror. It's the reflections of my aircraft lights on the cloud. Let's set the weapon up. We've got 18 kilometers to do this, so we've got to get it done quickly. Computer detect, input mode on, 80003. That tells the missiles what to do. Back to output mode. Right, and we want the impulse down and series up, correct. Let's go back to act pos, current position, and that is us set there. We're on nav mode here. Distance to waypoint is 0. We should be over Novosibirsk now. So, waypoint 5. And as soon as we hit waypoint 5, we'll be turning the radar on so we can start looking at what might be below us. There's the waypoint 5 heading. Rolling wings level. There's a bit of a town underneath me here, just in this cloud. It's flicking around. I'm going to drop down because we're over the sea, or we should be over the sea, if I've got my navigation correct and my waypoints correct. There's my heading. Radar on. And we're looking for the ship. So the ship should be beyond waypoint 6. I'm just off waypoint 5 here, so we're going to come right again a bit further here onto waypoint 5. Okay, now we're heading towards waypoint 6. This is all happening very fast. So, looking for the ship. There's the ship. Okay, now I need to tell it to move my target waypoint onto the ship. So, master mode to nav. Radar's on A1 mode. I'm on waypoint 6, TV1. Slew the target to the ship. There's the ship there. Fix the target on the ship. And get ready to fire the weapon. Weapons to attack mode. Weapon on attack mode. Impulse is set correctly. Weapon safety off. Weapon is armed. Distance to target is about 30 kilometers. What I'm going to do is just turn right. We are actually within range of the weapon, but I'm just going to line up a little bit better here, so the target's basically in front of us. Okay, first weapon I will now safe fire. I just heard the weapon come away, so TV1 will fix that there. Weapon to safe, weapon to arm. Second weapon firing now. I can hear the weapon release and the empty weapons bay symbol is showing. Back to the act pos position, which we are on. Waypoint 7, please. I'm now turning off waypoint 6 and heading to waypoint 7. So we've released the weapons towards the ship, and we are now turning left towards waypoint 7. I'm going to now go AFK mode. That's AFK mode there. And as we shed some altitude, also the engine is coming right back. So from nearly 900 kilometers an hour now, we're going to be slowing down to 500 as we run in towards the airfield at and waypoint 7. 500 meters above sea level, or above Napa rather. Okay, waypoint 7 is 08 degrees. 300 meters, that's good. We'll level off there. Coming left, coming left. Airspeed's dropping now, 650. I've got 20 kilometers or so here before we hit waypoint 7, so quite happy about that. Okay, there's my waypoint 7 there. Let's roll out. Okay, I'm at 400 meters above sea level. Waypoint 7 is dead ahead, and as soon as we hit waypoint 7 I'm going to put the gear down, and I'm actually going to call into a Napa already, which means I need channel 6 I believe. Quick check of the knee board. I'll go this way, and a Napa, Gelengic is the one I'm landing at, not a Napa. Channel 6, flashlight on. Channel 6, there it is. Flashlight off. Let's call a Napa. Sorry, Gelengic. Request inbound. Gelensk. I'm terrible at pronouncing these Russian. Oh, he says Gelenzik. The other guy said Gelensk. Okay, right, we're basically going straight in. I can see the coast showing now on the radar, and waypoint 7 is 6 kilometers out. We are slowing down now through 500. I'm going to extend the air brakes for a moment or two, just to get us on that magic 500. And as soon as we hit waypoint 7, then we're going to activate the landing mode. The tills, we'll get the gear down. Okay, we've hit the waypoint now. So, gear down. Autopilot off. AFK is still on. You can see now we've hit the rain. So, the light is showing me rain now. And I've got to get left here so we can get in on the airfield. Okay. Now, just gotta hope like hell I can see this thing when it approaches. There's my heading. I do have some lights up ahead. My airspeed is 300. That's fine. That's what I want. Quite slow here. Need to get that HUD down. I need the flashlight on for this. See, there we go, that's better. We're a bit low. Just adjusting here. Still no sign of the flare path. We are 15 kilometers out. Let's make sure the air brake is in. Yep, air brake's in. Okay, so I'm trying to find it visually now. There's the runway off to the right. So we're going to go right here. Perfect, got visual now. So we can see the runway 11-12 kilometers out. It's quite far. You can see the tills is actually sending me way off in the wrong direction here. Airspeed 290. Don't want to get any slower than 290. Not on approach anyway. So I was a bit frantic there for a second, just when I...
Cleared for visual, contact tower. Kalinsk, in field, 1-1, request landing.
Okay. Let's give all the proper messages. Okay, we're lined up pretty much now. So I'm bringing the aircraft left. Time just to throw the reverse thruster on. which no doubt we're going to need. So I'm aiming for the far end of the runway at this point. And there we go. I'm just going to keep the pipper on the far end of the runway. Drop slightly left. Altitude 210. 200. Okay, I'm going to turn the radar off. Don't need you anymore, and it just helps me see a little bit as well.
Enfield 1-1, Galactic, check landing gear. Wind 249
Gear done.
at 8 meters per second. Runway
Okay,
01.
we do actually have a slight tailwind, I think. I'm using 01 here. Wind was coming from the west when we took off. We're now landing slightly east of north. Okay. I've done worse approaches during daylight, so here's hoping. Now we're just going to come right. Oh yeah. Okay, and AFK off. And we're down. It's a bit heavy. And we're using the reverse thruster to bring us to a short stop. Okay, we've made it down. And as you can see, it is still pretty rough conditions here. You can hardly see diddly. So I think I need to bind the AFK to a better key binding. I do have it bound, but unfortunately it doesn't toggle when it's bound to a key. It will only turn on and won't turn off. So I have to look over my shoulder there to deactivate it, which is rather distressing. Which is what I was doing at the last second there, just before touchdown. The worst possible time to look away from the what's happening in front of you is when you're 100 meters above the threshold on final approach. I probably should have killed myself, but I didn't. So lucky me. Probably could have pulled off a slightly better landing had we got rid of the AFK a bit earlier. Or left it on, in fact. So taxiing away now to the edge of the parking area, which is just in front. I think we'll use this parking area here. It's the closest one. Very good. Right. We can now put the brakes on and shut this airplane down. A couple of warning signs there telling me that everything's a bit nasty. That light off. Get rid of this light here. So there we are. We have made it to Gelendzhik from Anapa in the dead of night with pretty rough conditions. We got 2 missiles away on the boat, and I do believe we will have destroyed that boat. We'll have a look at the scores and then the replay just to make sure. So here's the score. You can see that I destroyed the ship with the 2 RB-15s. One of them was a hit, or maybe it says 2 hits, but anyway, the ship is gone, and there's the score.